Breaking news! Something big is brewing in Miami, and trust me, you're going to want to hear about it. Behind closed doors, there's a move that could shake up the Dolphins roster in ways no one expected. We're not just talking about trade rumors or off-season speculation. We're talking about a potential decision that could change the course of this franchise. And it involves one of our biggest stars, Jalen Ramsey. Yes, you heard right. Ramsey, once hailed as a defensive mainstay in Miami, could be on his way out. And not to just any team, but back to the Los Angeles Rams. The rumors have been swirling for weeks, and now it seems like we're closer than ever to seeing this deal happen. But why would the Dolphins even consider it? What's going on behind the scenes that would warrant such a move? At the same time, there's a surprising new story unfolding at the quarterback position. While everyone's focused on Tua and Zach Wilson, there's one rookie quietly gaining attention. Quinn Ewers, a 7th-round pick. He's already turning heads on ESPN and inside the Dolphins building. Could he be the hidden gem no one saw coming? Before I give you all the details, and trust me, they're incredible, be sure to like this if you're a true Dolphins fan. If you've lived through the ups and downs of this team for more than 2 decades, leave a comment saying, "Go Dolphins!" My heart bleeds teal and orange. Let's talk about everything I know so far, because this isn't just off-season talk. It's a sign that something big is coming, and not everyone in the front office is ready to handle it. Let's get right into it, because there's no time to waste. The hottest topic right now is the swirling speculation around Jalen Ramsey. Once again, he's been linked to a return to the Los Angeles Rams. And this time, it feels different. It feels real. According to ESPN's Matt Bowen, the Rams are the best trade fit for Ramsey. And based on everything we're hearing, it seems like this reunion is on the verge of becoming reality. Even Chris Greer has reportedly been listening to offers. It's clear, the Dolphins are preparing for life without Ramsey. Now, let's unpack this. Bowen's evaluation says that while Ramsey might no longer be a blue-chip corner at 30 years old, his speed and instincts still give him an edge in zone coverage and sub-packages, something the Rams desperately need in their weak secondary. Let's be real, their cornerback room is one of the worst in the league. This is a unit relying on busted picks like Emmanuel Forbes Jr. and depth players who aren't cutting it. If the Rams want to compete with Matthew Stafford and make a serious postseason run, they need a game-changer in the secondary, and Ramsey knows that system, that staff, and that city. And let's not forget, this isn't just smoke. We're talking fire here. Rams coach Sean McVay spoke about Ramsey just a month ago, saying they've kept in close contact ever since the trade that sent him to Miami. On top of that, Ian Rappaport went on the Pat McAfee show and flat out said he believes Ramsey is still going to be traded. The buzz is real, and it's getting louder. ESPN analysts, NFL insiders, you name it, they're all circling the same narrative. But why hasn't it happened yet? Simple, money. If Miami pulls the trigger before June 1st, it would result in a $12 million dead cap hit. After June 1st, they save $9 million. So if a trade goes down, and it's looking more and more like it will, it's going to be processed post-June 1. That's just smart business, even if Greer doesn't exactly have a reputation for savvy decision-making. So what would a trade look like? Initially, the talk was a 2nd or 3rd round pick, especially if it was going to happen before the draft. But now, we're probably looking at a conditional 4th round pick that could escalate to a 3rd rounder based on performance incentives, like Pro Bowl appearances or a playoff win. Not ideal for Miami, but at this point, something is better than nothing. And if more teams jump into the mix, Philadelphia, Detroit, Buffalo, even the Raiders, the price could rise. But let's not kid ourselves. Ramsey wants LA, and LA wants Ramsey. But let me pivot for a moment, because while one veteran might be on his way out, a fresh face is generating some real intrigue. I'm talking about 7th-round quarterback Quinn Ewers. That's right, the same Quinn Ewers who many thought would go in the 5th round ended up being a major value pickup for Miami at 231st overall. And ESPN is showing him some serious love, saying Mike McDaniel's offense is tailor-made for his skill set. Quick throws, RPOs, attacking the middle of the field, that's exactly where Ewers thrives. Here's the twist. While Ewers may project as QB3 this season, don't be surprised if he pushes for that QB2 spot in 2026, or sooner if there's an injury. Tua's durability remains a concern, and Zach Wilson, despite the 1-year $6 million fully guaranteed deal, is far from a sure thing. This quarterback room suddenly has depth, talent, and options. But let's not get carried away either. Ewers has his flaws, his footwork needs major work, and his decision-making has led to turnovers. That said, the raw arm talent is top tier. He's got one of the best arms from this draft class, and he operated in an NFL-style system under Steve Sarkisian at Texas, which aligns beautifully with what McDaniel runs in Miami. There's a real possibility this kid sticks on the 53-man roster. Practice squad? Maybe, but he was given a bigger contract than most seventh rounders, signaling that the team wants to keep him close. Bottom line, the Dolphins are finally taking quarterback depth seriously. Wilson has the experience and upside, and Ewers brings potential and scheme fit. For the first time in a long time, this team isn't gambling everything on Tua staying healthy all year. So Dolphins fans, the question now becomes, with Ramsey likely heading out and Ewers coming in, what do you make of this team's direction? Is this the kind of roster shuffling that gets us closer to a Super Bowl? Or is Greer once again making questionable decisions that could hold us back? And here's where things get even more interesting. If you're still with me, buckle up, because the implications of a Jalen Ramsey trade go far beyond just the player himself. Trading away a cornerstone like Ramsey signals a clear shift in Miami's roster strategy, maybe even a full philosophical pivot. It suggests that Mike McDaniel, despite being an offensive mastermind, might not be getting the defensive backing he needs to truly compete. And if this move is being driven by Chris Greer, and let's be honest, it is, that should have every Dolphins fan raising their eyebrows. Let's be real here. Ramsey wasn't just any defensive back. Even at 30, he was still putting up quality numbers. 2 interceptions, 8 pass breakups, 6 tackles for loss last season. And even if you argue he's no longer at his peak, the intangibles he brought to that locker room, leadership, swagger, championship mindset, those are harder to replace than stats. So, if Greer is pulling the plug on Ramsey, you better believe he needs a plan. And do you see one? Because I don't. Let's talk about that Rams offer. A conditional 4th rounder? That's the going rate for a future Hall of Famer now? Sure, it might escalate to a 3rd round pick, but even then, it feels like Miami is getting the short end of the stick, especially when you remember how much we gave up to bring Ramsey in the first place. That's not roster building. That's asset mismanagement. And the worst part? There's a real possibility that we'll watch Ramsey thrive in LA, lead a playoff run, and hear every analyst say, how did Miami let him go for so little? That's the nightmare scenario. That's the Chris Greer effect. Meanwhile, back in Miami, the front office seems to be hedging their bets with young talent like Ewers. And that would be great if this was a rebuild. But it's not. At least, it's not supposed to be. This team is in win-now mode. Tua is entering the final stages of his rookie contract window. Tyreek Hill isn't getting any younger. And yet here we are, rolling the dice on backup quarterbacks and potentially shipping out one of our most proven defenders. The disconnect is staggering. Now let's talk more about Quinn Ewers, because his story might just be one of the most intriguing quarterback developments in the league this year. ESPN's Jordan Reed praised the fit, highlighting how Ewers' skill set aligns perfectly with McDaniel's offense. And he's right, this isn't just lip service. Ewers operated in a heavy RPO, quick read system at Texas. He thrived on rhythm throws, intermediate routes, and creative pre-snap motion. Sound familiar? That's literally Miami's offensive playbook. But the concern is real. Footwork, decision-making, turnovers, these aren't small issues. And while his arm talent is unquestionable, the NFL is littered with guys who could throw a deep ball but never adjusted to the speed and complexity of the pro game. So, is Quinn Ewers the next late-round gem? Or just another developmental project who looks great in August and disappears by October? That's where preseason is going to be crucial. With 3 games on the schedule, Ewers is going to get meaningful snaps, and fans are going to get their first look at what this kid can do against NFL-level competition. And make no mistake, he'll be competing. Tua is the starter, sure. Zach Wilson is the backup, on paper. But Ewers will have a chance to make a statement, especially if Tua's health wavers or Wilson's inconsistency rears its head again. And don't forget, teams are watching. If Miami tries to stash Ewers on the practice squad, another franchise might swoop in. So his performance this summer could determine not only his future with the Dolphins, but whether he even stays in Miami at all. All of this brings us back to a bigger question. What is the actual plan here?